Hey now, friends, it's me, Lola, coming in with a super special message for you this AM. Please come into the broadcast. Come in quickly. I didn't expect to go live this morning, but I am. So I want to see who's going to come on with me. I want to talk to you. I want to give you some encouragement. I want to give you a confidence boost. And then I also want to give you some information that you probably need to know that maybe you've seen, maybe you haven't. Either way, I want to raise your awareness so that as you create, so that as you do your special things, so as you unleash your creativity and your special sauce into the world, you make sure you're doing it in a way that's not going to come back and bite you later on in the future. Okay. So who's in here? Tell me your name. Tell me, hey, let me know you can hear me. You're not going to be able to see me because the broadcast is just audio only, but let me know that you can see me. Let me know that you can, I'm sorry, not see me. Let me know that you can hear me okay. And then I'll get started and kind of go from there. I know this is a spontaneous message. I usually don't come on this early, but before I kind of got in my groove of things, sorry, I was at a loss for words because I didn't want to say everything that I was thinking in my head. But before I get into my groove of things, I want to talk to you all about this. So let me know who's in here. Let me know who's on. Say hey. Tell me you're in the room. Tell me that you can hear me. Tell me that the sound is good, and then I'll get going. If you don't do that, I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to log out, and I'll go into my private group, and I'll stream over there, and I'll let the people in my private group get access to the coins that I'm going to be dropping off in this message today. Babe, what are you listening to? What you listening to?
Sorry, I was listening to Dave Chappelle.
Got it. You seeing what all the controversy is about?
Mm-hmm. And his little Netflix closer thing.
Got it. So I see that someone's here, but you're not commenting, or I can't see it. I don't know where you're joining me from because I'm streaming a few different places. But if I don't, okay. So Monica said the sound is good. Thank you, Monica. Okay, I'll keep going. So my sound is good. My sound is okay. Whew. Excuse me. Okay, so let's go ahead and get going. Do me a favor. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know that you're having a great morning. Let me know that you're excited about your week. I'm excited about this week. I was looking through my phone last night at some old videos and old content. I have like content on top of content on top of content. I have like content for days in my phone. It's ridiculous. But I was looking at my phone and was looking at some old content, and I saw a video clip that I had done from one of my YouTube videos, and it was about putting yourself out there. And I just thought about that, and I was like, oh my gosh, that was such a good video. I was so encouraged by it. And then that kind of got me in the mood this morning to do a video. And I've seen this meme pop up on social media about Canva and trademarks. Someone also mentioned it to me like definitely over 4 weeks ago. And I sent them some information back, some research that I did on it. And I was going to share the information in my private group, but then I was like, I don't have time to share it. And if you're wondering what my private group is a special online group that I have for anyone that works within the creative economy. So if you're someone who is a writer, if you're building a brand, if you're a creator on any level, building a business, building a side career, if you have a full-time job, but you're building something on the side, if you're anyone with a dream and a vision that you want to take from your head and your heart and actually make it a reality, then I suggest you get in that group. So when I refer to my group, that's what I'm talking about. You can find it on Facebook. It's called the Smoke and Profit Podcast, Dreamers Ignited. So go ahead and drop over there when you get off this broadcast and answer the questions, let yourself in the group. But anyways, I saw this Canva and trademarking stuff, and I was like, okay, I could share this with my group. Excuse me, sorry. But I didn't have energy for it, so I didn't. So I was like, let me get on this morning and talk about it, and also share some content tips that will actually help you stand out as a content creator in 2022 and some trends that I'm noticing and some things that I want you to pay attention to. Why do I want to help you? Why do I want to share this information? Because I started out solo dolo. I started out, had no clue what I was doing. I just got this idea in my heart one day to start a blog and to start sharing the conversations, the intimate conversations that I had with God, with the world. And I started a blog, had no clue about web design, none of that, just did what I know how to do, which is find information, which is research things, which is read and internalize what I'm reading, take it and turn it into something applicable. So that's what I did. And I started building my blog. It turned into a brand, The Smoking Prophet, which is a life advice brand designed to resource you spiritually, creatively, and socially. And from there, it turned into a business, which we're building now, which is the media side to help other creators, dreamers, and amazing people like you listening to this broadcast. And we also have a podcast, the Smoking Profit Podcast. So the reason I like to help people is because I needed the help when I started. And a lot of uh, tips that I give, I wish somebody would have been giving me like back in the beginning when I was doing everything in the fundamental foundational days, but it's a-okay. I'm just going to share what I have with you all and with anyone that comes on. Do me a favor. If you have not commented, I need you to comment. This broadcast is live. So that means that I actually see your comments. You can talk to me and I can talk back to you. So I need to know you're there. I need to know you're listening. I need to know that the content is something that is helping you. If you hear some dinging in the background, it's my computer. I have application running in the background that's going off. But and okay, I see you, Dante. So other people, Monica, I see that you're in here. Dante, I see that you're in here. I see some other people are here, but I have not seen you comment. So comment. Also, if you have not liked the broadcast, if you have not added a heart to the broadcast and you're on here listening, go ahead and do that now. Like that's one of my tips for today as I share content tips for 2022 and to help you as a creator. That's one of them. So I'll save it for later. Now I'm about to go ahead and get into my message after I see that there are some more likes on the broadcast. So sorry I have to do this to you all, but I am I'm tired of putting my content out there and people watch it and they don't interact with it. That's not okay. So if you're here and you're watching, you need to say, hey, I'm here. You need to drop an emoji. You need to hit like. You need to hit a heart. Like that's what you need to do. And I usually don't get so stern and tell people what they need to do, but I have to do that this morning. And I'm noticing that I have to do that on my broadcast because people don't do it. My husband and I work really hard to make very valuable content that actually helps people, content that not only inspires you, but content that gives you steps, that tells you step by step how to do something that is important to you and that will help you make a positive mark on the world. So appreciate us, value us by saying hey, value us by hitting like, value us by commenting. That's the least that you can do. We don't ask you for money, okay? We're not on here giving you our cash apps. I don't even use Cash App like that, to be honest. We're not on here pushing products down your face and trying to sell you something. We're not on here doing that. We're on here given to you from our spirits. We're being poured out like drink offerings. My God, I could go to the scripture, but I won't this morning. We're being poured out. The least that you can do is say, hey, okay? Or I will turn this off and go into my private group and say hey to Monica and Dante, which seems like they're the only ones that said hey. Shout out to y'all who have come on. Shout out to the people who have actually liked and hearted this broadcast. Even if you didn't comment and you liked and hearted it, you're helping me. So let's get into it. I'm Lola. I'm creator of The Smoking Prophet. The Smoking Prophet is a life advice brand designed to resource you spiritually, creatively, and socially. Our goal is to give you what it takes others years to get. And we do that through a blog, thesmokingprophet.com, and also through a podcast, The Smoking Prophet Podcast, which has over 100 plus episodes available for you. Today, I want to talk to you about creating logos in Canva. And if Canva is the best place for you to create your designs, I also want to give you some content tips to help you get ahead of the content jump that we're seeing online. And when you say content jump, let me explain what I mean when I say content jump. There's like a shift in what people are engaging with online and how people are engaging online. And I want to help give you insight on that so that you can jump ahead of the curve and be prepared for 2022 by starting now in 2021. If you're okay with that, drop a comment if you want. If you don't want to, it's all good as long as you've hit that like and that heart button and you've done that for me. So let's go ahead and get into the first thing, creating designs in Canva. First of all, I like Canva. Canva is a very simple web-based app. It's easy to use. They also have an app that you can use for your digital devices like your phone, your tablet, your iPad. It's very easy to use. It's simple, and their Canva is constantly like upgrading their app. I remember when they started, like, and I started using them years ago, there was barely any content assets in there. Content assets as in designs that were already made that you could add to your designs. There were barely any good stock photos in there. The photos were like, they looked like they were from the 90s or 2000s or something. And I'm just being honest. So they've upgraded over time. Like, and that's cool when you're with a company that you sees when you're with a company that you see is always upgrading with the time. It's cool, it works. So one thing that I love about them also is that it's just a really easy tool to use and to learn, which is cool. Now, the thing that I don't like about what I'm seeing here lately is the meme that I've saw floating around saying that you cannot trademark logos in Canva. I don't like it because it's good clickbait, and clickbait meaning it gets people's attention and gets them to look at it. And hopefully the people that are sharing that meme are sharing like everything about trademarking logos in Canva, and they're being super honest about it, and which is what I'm about to do today. So, can you trademark logos in Canva? You can trademark a logo that you've made in Canva if it's your unique design and if you are not using design assets from Canva or like their stock photos. So I'm going to read directly from Canva's website and let y'all know. Sarah Mia, it's okay. Sarah Mia, I need your web address or your contact for when I send people to you to get a jingle done by Sarah Mingle. I need that information. I'm going to update your contact information on our videos that we're doing. So on our videos, when we play your theme music that you created for us, which is amazing, by the way, we have your contact information there so people can contact you directly. I want to update that information so it's going to the right place, because I think you have a website, a new website that you're using now. So that's what I tagged you on. Okay, so back to this. Can you trademark a logo created in Canva if it's yours? And I'm not saying if you pulled design assets from Canva, meaning they had a pre-made logo in there of a lotus flower and you pulled that into your design and then started putting letters on top of it. Could you trademark that? No, you couldn't, because it's not yours. Okay. You can trademark a design, a logo that you've made in Canva if you've actually made it. And the only thing you can use to make a design that you want to trademark in Canva, the only assets that you can pull from Canva would be their basic lines and shapes. So that's it. You could probably take some squares and make a logo. You could probably take some circles and make a logo. You could probably take some lines and make a logo. And you can also use their fonts, because their fonts are, excuse me, their fonts are free. Now, that doesn't sound fun, does it? No, not really. But if you're someone who has the ability to draw And even if you're someone that doesn't have the ability to draw, you can certainly sketch your own logo in an app like Procreate or other apps where you can draw. You could even take your notepad on the iPhone and probably sketch out a logo there, you know, and use it in your design. And if you were to take your original art and then upload it to Canva and then use their fonts, then you could make a logo there and you could trademark that logo. Let me read this directly from Canva. Trademarking logos created on Canva. Your logo is the face of your business or company. When it comes to designing this important piece of your brand identity, you want to put your best foot forward and create something people will remember. We got it. Registering your logo as a trademark takes this one step further. When you register a trademark, this means you have the exclusive rights to use that mark to distinguish your goods and services from other businesses. That's really important. It says when you register a trademark, that means you have the exclusive right to use that mark to distinguish your goods and services from other businesses. Now, can y'all kind of see how Canva cannot give us the exclusive rights to take asset found in their content library and use it in our trademark? Because if they were to do that, that means that they cannot continue to use that content in their library. Do you guys understand that? Am I making sense? Let me know and let's keep going. Creating logos you can register as a trademark. If you like to create logos on Canva that you can register as a trademark, there are two ways you can go with. And I'll also put this link in the chat so y'all can look it up and see it. But this information is very easy to find on the internet. Also, Canva is doing a lovely thing. If you go, or at least when I did it, if you go to make a logo in Canva, it will, it pops up, a pop-up comes up that says, are you trying to trademark this or something? Anyways, it makes it real easy for you to get the information. Sorry, I'm doing multiple things at once and I lost my train of thought. All right, let me drop this in the chat so y'all can have this link. There you go. All right, let's keep going. Design an original logo from scratch in Canva. So this is one way that you can make a logo in Canva and trademark it. In creating a unique logo in Canva from scratch, you can use basic lines and shapes from our free library. You can also use all our fonts. So that's what you can use to make a logo in Canva and actually trademark it. They're telling you that you can use their basic lines and shapes and you can use their fonts to create your own logo. So that's cool. That's a great place for someone to start. But it says you can't use stock content, e.g., photos and graphics, as we only give you a non-exclusive license to use this, meaning that you're not the only one that can use that content. They're not saying that once you use it, it's yours. You know, they're given a license for multiple people to use it, which is, again, the reason why they cannot let you take one of their assets and put it into a trademark, because it would just, it wouldn't be possible. You know, they wouldn't be able to keep the content in their library. And who knows what agreement they have with the person that they got the content from. You know, are they licensing it or do they actually buy it flat out? But anyways, other Canva I'm back to reading, by the way. Other Canva users are free to use the same content, which means that using stock content for your logos isn't suitable for use in a trademark. Whoever wrote this did some really good writing, by the way. Sorry, I'm a writer, so I'm obsessed with technical writing, which is when you're writing stuff for companies, like their internal documents, lessons, teaching stuff, their policies, procedures, things like this. Is pretty cool. Okay, back to reading this stuff. Elements in a logo need to be exclusive to you. Here's something else you can do to design your logo using Canva. Okay, I just did the dumbest thing. So I'm looking at dual monitors right now and my laptop is touchscreen. And I tried to just touch my monitor to roll the screen up. And it was like, no, ma'am, like this is not a touch screen. This is a screen that you have to use your mouse on. Okay, so here's the other way. Back to reading. Upload your original logo to Canva. You can upload your own logo design to Canva. This might be a logo you design yourself, or one you commission a graphic designer to create for you. After uploading your logo, you can use Canva to create branded collateral for your business, like social media content, business cards, flyers, and so much more. So all in all, to answer your question, or to answer the question that you came in here to see me answer today, can you use Canva to create a logo that you can trademark? Yes, you can, but it has to, your logo has to be made using your own designs that either you created yourself, you designed and drew yourself, or that you paid a designer, a graphic designer, a graphic artist to create for you. Or you need to be using Canva assets that they're saying that you can use, which would be basic lines and shapes and their fonts. A good thing for all of us to do when we're using these websites and we're grabbing pictures from different places is just read the license. A lot of people don't want to hear this stuff when you talk to them about creating content. Like, you don't want to hear the technical stuff, but you need to know it so that you don't get in trouble. I'm super grateful. Like I said, when I started out blogging, I had no clue what I was doing. And I reached out to a major editorial magazine, and the head editor actually emailed me back and was like, I emailed them about something. It had nothing to do with like me and what I was doing, but the woman just took it as an opportunity to like give me some tips. Cause I was like, hey, I just started doing this. I have no clue what I was doing. And that's a testament to say that sometimes you have to put yourself out there and not try to act like you know everything. Like, just put yourself out there. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And she was like, hey, when you do this, you got to do this, blah, blah, blah. Fair use. Go and read about fair use and just understand what it is, so that when you're resharing content to your blog, you're not getting into trouble. And I had to go and make a lot of changes and all kinds of stuff. So I try to pay attention to the licenses. I try to pay attention to things that I'm using. I signed up for some membership program a few months ago. And in the membership program, a photographer created this program, which is really cool because I can get stock images from this photographer. But there was no license. And I noticed that when I first signed up for the program. And sometimes as creators, as entrepreneurs, whatever you are, when we're creating stuff, we're doing it in beta, meaning we're changing things, we're upgrading, we're making it better as we go. We're progressing things in the process of things. And so I noticed there was no license, and I'm like, hey, company, before I use your content assets, I need to know where your license is so I can read it, and so I can see how I can use your content, so that I make sure that I don't violate the license. You know what I'm saying? And have a problem later on. And they didn't have one. They were like, you can use it. We don't have the license yet, but you can use it as long as you're in the program. And then I'm like, well, what does that mean? Does that mean that if I cancel the program, then I have to go and take down all the pictures that I've used from the time that I was in the program? And I was like, no, no, no. I'm gonna have to wait until y'all get a license, because your word for it is not enough for me. Plus, it doesn't really say anything. Oh, you can use our stuff. No. No, no, no. And that's part of the reason why I haven't launched out on a few things that I want to do, because I need to get a license in place so that when people use the content that I create for them, it's actually licensed and they know that they can use it forever, or they know that they can use it for a certain time frame and all of that good stuff. But pay attention to the license, pay attention to what they're saying, and then use the content. And if you're not somebody that likes to read through all of that stuff, then pay someone to do it for you, you know, or either partner with somebody, get somebody on your team that doesn't mind doing that stuff. Okay, so let me go into the next thing. Y'all got any questions about Canva and using, sorry, my chair is kind of squishy. Do you all have any questions about Canva and using their app or their web-based app to create your logos? Let me know. Let me know so that I can move on to the next thing. Yes, I just got totally quiet on y'all because I'm waiting on you to respond. Sorry. Oh my goodness. All right. So if Takiri said no, she's good. She understands it. Perfect. So this is something that I wanted to offer to you all. These are some content tips just to help you create content in the future and something that we can learn from Canva. Canva has a lot of templates. They have a lot of design assets that are already out there and they're already made. And when you use them, yeah, you're creating a little bit when you use them, but for the most part, you are using a template. It's just using a design that already exists. And the people that stand out with their content are people that are creating the content. The creators hold the power. It's not so much the people that are copying someone else's model or copying what already exists. So as you move forward in your creation endeavors, something I want you to hold on to is to be a creator and not a copycat. Be someone who is creating original content and not necessarily someone who is just taking what they already see and you're just remixing it a little bit. Yeah, that's cool to use a template. It's never cool to copy somebody, but it's cool to use a template. It's cool to be inspired. But your secret sauce is going to be your own creativity. It's going to be your own originality. I was talking with someone a few weeks ago, and I said that we're approaching a time where we're going to see that people that have built their house with a house of cards just fall. And I was talking about creators because a lot of people that create, they're taking from someone else, and they're not necessarily putting their own original content out into the world because it's so much easier and so much faster to use something that already exists, or to just look online. Oh, I saw this. Let me do my own version. And then you do it versus you sitting down, you allowing your mind to do what it does best, go into its daydreaming state, go into its resting state, allowing your mind to start connecting thoughts that you had when you were a kid up until now, just allowing your mind to wander. A lot of people don't want to sit and rest in that. But when you sit and rest in that, you come up with original content. You come up with your own ideas. You unleash your creativity in a way that is fresh. And when our minds see fresh stuff on the internet, we like it. We like the stuff that blends in and that everybody is doing. But our minds are really, really intrigued by original content. So as a content creator, I need you to know that you need to take more time to create original content. Yes, it's easy to just pump content out real fast, but if you want to do something more powerful, then you'll allow your mind to do what it does best and give it some time to create something amazing and spend some time with it to stew with it. Also, I wanted to share this. When I was talking about logos, I read this article a really long time ago, and I'll try to find it and drop it in the chat. But there's this brand called Drunk Elephant, and it's a skincare company. And I was reading a story about how this creator like got the idea to start this skincare company, and then how they created the logo, because I like the logo. The logo is a series of just curvy lines. It's really, in my opinion, is super cool. But when I read the story about how the woman created the logo, she said she got a Sharpie marker and sat at the table with no drawing skills and just drew what she thought to be was an elephant. Okay. She drew what she thought to be was an elephant, and that turned into her logo. So for some of you all that are thinking, you know, what am I going to do? I can't make my own logo, and I can't afford someone to do a logo for me right now. My business is very lean. I'm trying not to spend money unnecessarily or I don't even know if I need a logo right now. If your mind is on any of those things, I want you to look up the Drunk Elephant logo. And I want you to look at that logo and see that if that woman could draw some squiggly lines that's used in her $1 million brand, then you can do the same thing too. Okay. And that's just another testament to you being original, to you unleashing your own creativity. She unleashed her own creativity. She didn't pay anybody to do that. She did it herself. She sat down and she did it herself, and it works. Okay. And if you're having a problem with allowing your creativity to flow, then it may be that you're just scared that people won't accept what you come up with, or you're scared that it's not going to look the way you see it in your head. And it may not look the way you see it in your head, but if you just keep trying, it can get to that. So some of y'all don't know this. I paint, I draw, and when I see my images in my head and I start to sketch them out or I start to draw them out, sometimes they don't look like what I see in my head. And you know what I have to do? I just have to erase a little bit and keep drawing and fix it and give myself time to get it the way I want it, and that's the same that you have to do. That's the same that you'll have to do for you. That's the same thing you'll have to do in your case. Give yourself time. Try, practice, mess up, make mistakes, erase, come back, and just give yourself time. Nobody is expecting you to be A1 perfect but you, okay? So the next thing that I want you to do as a content creator, as someone who's preparing to create content in 2022, I want you to be more people centric and less me centric. So you're probably like, what is Lola talking about? Be more people centric and less me centric. I'm going to explain it to you. And to Carrie, thank you. You said you remember that story. Yeah, it was so amazing. Like, and the crazy thing, when I stumbled on how this woman created the Drunk Elephant logo, like it was an accident. I don't even know what I was reading about. It was such an accident. I stumbled on the story and I'm like, this is incredible. And so many people are holding back. So many people are holding back because they're like, oh, I got to do it that way. And I got to have this sharp logo. No, you don't. Like, the Smoking Prophet does not even really have a logo. And we've existed for some years, y'all. We don't even really have a logo, y'all. It's not necessary. There are a lot of things that I could say we need, but guess what? We have what we need. And before we need something else, those needs get supplied. Like, I start thinking about it and I create it. And then it's like, boom, oh, I guess that's why I went on that binge of reading about this or studying this, because I need to use it. The same thing will happen for you. You just gotta go and get started. Okay, so here's the second thing. I want you to be more people centric and less me centric. So when I'm looking at content, I notice a lot of people are doing a lot of me centric content. So what is me centric content? Me centric content is all about the person that has created it. It's all about them. It elevates that person. And nothing's wrong with elevating yourself. Nothing's wrong with that. I want you all to know your worth. I want you to know your value. I want you to have high self-esteem. I want you to walk in confidence, because that's the only way you're going to go after your dreams and accomplish them. So I want you to do that. But me-centric content, Lord, can I talk today? But let me tell y'all what's going on. I have been taking some allergy pills and they make me very drowsy, and I don't like taking medication because it makes me feel like I'm under the influence or I'm drunk or something. So me stumbling my words a little bit is because I'm on this allergy medicine because my skin is going crazy this season. I just went to the doctor on Friday. I have scars all over my skin from where I've been scratching my skin at night. I had to cut my nails off and get rid of them. And the dermatologist is like, it's allergy related. You're going to have to take this medicine. And the medicine makes me sleepy. So that's what's happening. But anyways, let me get back to talking about this. Me-centric content is all about me, 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 me. It elevates the person who's created it. That's wonderful. But when people come to your social page, when people come to your website, when people buy your book, when people take from you the thing that you're offering, it's something else that they need from you besides whatever you have at the forefront, whatever you have, whatever shiny object you've placed in front of them to get their attention. It's something more that they need. And people-centric content begins to look at the person. It focuses on what they need and it gives it to them. So that's the difference between people-centric content and me-centric content. If you are selling anything, your sales pitch doesn't need to be, you need to buy this because something, something, something. It's too me-centric. Your sales pitch needs to include something that your person, your audience needs. It needs to tap into that and show them how you're committed to helping them see and achieve the thing that they need and helping them get there. So if you do have a book and the book is about your life story, then how does your life story help that person? Think about that. How does your life story help that person? If you do have a podcast and your podcast is about your daily goings on, I said that on purpose like that. How does your podcast and what you do daily help that person that you're trying to reach? Take it from being me-centric and make it more people-centric. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about that before I move on? I'm getting some comments. And okay, so Takiri asked the question, what if you feel like nothing comes to your mind? So Takiri, sometimes as people, we have overstimulated our minds so much. Overstimulated them with TV, overstimulated them with social media, overstimulated them with the things that we see, that it takes time for our minds to be able to settle and to get still. It takes time. It takes time. And you may sit up and close your eyes and start seeing images of everything or start thinking about all kinds of stuff. When that happens, just let your mind go. Just let your mind go until it gets all of that stuff out and then wait. That's another thing about creativity. Creativity needs time. And I'm thinking about a quote that I posted the other day from this book that I read about the mind and how the brain works. And then at the same time, I'm thinking about another book that I read about different innovators and really powerful innovators and things that help them. So I'm going to tell you two things. The first thing is the solution. Let your mind wander. Let it do what it does. Give it time. Your mind, even when you feel like it's not able to think and it's not able to be still, to be honest with you, the brain is not still. Your brain, when it's resting, it's actually in a daydreaming state. So when your mind is wandering from thing to thing, it's daydreaming. That's resting. It's a resting state of your mind. So when you sit down and you get still and you feel like your mind is not allowing you to be still and nothing is coming to your mind and you want to force some creativity out of it, don't. Just let your mind do what it does. Let it go between thoughts. Let it wander. Let it wander. Because in the wandering, your mind will start to connect things for you, and then a thought will come. But you can't force it, and you have to give yourself time. There was this guy I read about in this book. His name is Mark Benioff. He has this company. It's called Salesforce. It's a $1 billion company, and it's a $1 billion company. And he was trying to get an idea for his company, and he had, if I'm not mistaken, he had traveled somewhere and saw some spiritual leader, and he was just on a search to just get insight on what to do with his company. And he was sitting in the middle of, well, not the middle exactly, but he was sitting out in the ocean, in the water. and he was swimming with dolphins when his idea for the company dropped on him. In that moment, he was relaxing. He wasn't searching for the answer. And the creativity dropped on him. And he took that and turned it into his company. And it's a $1 billion company. Okay. So why did I tell you all of that? I told you that to say that we stimulate our minds a lot with the things that we see. I don't like that. I like to be alone. I can't stand TikTok. Like, I don't want to look through 10 seconds of seeing somebody do something and then it goes on to the next person, because I understand the cost that is happening in my mind and the energy that is taking from my brain to go between those thoughts and taking all that information. So I can't do it. I'm like, nah, I'm good. So what you have to do is limit the stimulation that you have. Be intentional about the stimulation that you're allowing to come into your mind. Be intentional about it. And then allow your brain to just do what it does. If you sit down to do something and your mind is wandering, now I'm not telling you to do this at work. If you're at work and you're supposed to be giving somebody 8 hours of your time, then by God, you better give them 8 hours of your time. But in your own time where you're trying to let your creativity flow, sit down and let your mind wander. Because when it wanders, it's actually resting. And that resting is conducive to you creating. Okay. All right. And let's move on to the next thing. I'll give you guys 2 books that I read, and if you want to read them, you can. If you don't want to read them, I think they're also on Audible. But The Organized Mind: Thinking Straight in the Age of Information Overload is by Daniel Levitin. It's a good book. I learned a lot about the mind reading that book. I revisited that book this year. And also The Innovator's DNA. And I don't remember the full title on that book, but I see it up on my bookshelf. That my husband made me. Yay, thank you, husband. But I'm not going to grab it. But that book is the one that talked about Mark Benioff and how he got the idea for his company after seeking the idea and then sitting out in the ocean, relaxing, chilling, and then boom, the creativity drops. Okay. So we've gone over a few things so far. I see a few people. Yes, I'll actually type it in the chat for you. Give me 1 minute. I'm typing it now. Okay. So I just typed it out there for you. Let me kind of introduce it. Oh, you got the other book? That's that one. Yeah. Thank you. You heard me?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. And the second, thank you, babe. The second one is called The Innovator's DNA, and it's Mastering the 5 Skills of Disruptive Innovators. Okay. And if another thing too, if you find that it's harder for your mind to like focus on things, then just start small. A lot of times when we overstimulate ourselves, we've trained our brains to be distracted in a sense. I don't feel like getting into all of that. I released something about that in my private group, so I may drop it over here in the chat just so you can read it. But when you overstimulate your mind and you're all over the place, you can kind of train your mind to be distracted. So if you find that it's hard for you to focus and stick with things, and just take it slow and just slowly start cutting back on the things that are causing you that extra stimulation, and be more intentional about what you're allowing to stimulate you. Okay, so I'm Lola. I'm with the Smoking Prophet. I'm not getting off of here. I'm just reintroducing things because I see some new people have come in the room. The Smoking Prophet is a life advice brand designed to resource you spiritually, creatively, and socially. Our goal is to give you what it takes others years to get. We do that through a blog, thesmokingprophet.com, and also through a podcast, the Smoking Prophet Podcast, which has over 100 episodes available to help you. The first thing that we talked about today was, can you use Canva to create logos that you can actually trademark? Because there's a meme going around saying that you cannot trademark logos made in Canva. On one hand, that is true. You cannot trademark something that was created by somebody else in Canva. I'm sorry, you cannot trademark a design that's in Canva that was created by someone else, because Canva is not giving you a license to do that. You can trademark logos made in Canva if they are made using your original designs, meaning you drew it digitally or you drew it by hand, or if you're using a design that you paid someone to make for you and you have the rights to it, you can do that. Or if you're using assets that Canva allows you to use in logo making, and that would be, and let me be more clear, or if you're using assets that Canva says you can use to create a logo that you can trademark, which would be basic lines and shapes in Canva fonts. Okay. The next thing that we went on to from there was just some tips to help you create your content starting now and moving on into 2022. So the first thing is be a creator and not a copycat. Original content is what stands out. Original content is standing out more and more and more. People want to know what you have in your head. So just isn't for people that are writers and designers, but if you're a speaker, like, people want to know your original thoughts. They're curious about them, so you can do commentary on trending topics. You can do a podcast. People are interested in that. So the first thing is that you need to be a creator and not just someone who is copying what's already out there and riding the wave of influence that's on what already exists. We think about the show Squid Game and how that show has blown up globally. It's crazy. But what else? Is there anything else like Squid Game out there, babe? I haven't seen anything else like Squid Game. May Yeah, a unicorn. I love that. So just be a creator. You have the ability to create on the inside of you. Use it. And sometimes that means you have to slow down. Sometimes that means that you can't pump content out like you're a machine, and it's okay. But if you give yourself time, if you allow yourself to sit with your thoughts and your creativity, and you'll come up with something that's amazing. And then when you come up with an amazing idea, don't play hot potato with it. Meaning, don't just put it out there one time and you're done with it. Like Takiri, you have a book. You should be talking about your book for the next 5 years. You should be doing podcast episodes on your book. You should be dropping quotes online from your book. You should be writing blogs about parts of your book. You should be taking the idea that you have and multiplying it. There's this SEO guy that I follow. His name is Neil Patel. And I heard on one of his videos, he said that I usually create something once a week. And my team goes and takes my content that I already have and they just repurpose it and update it for now. But he's like, I'm usually just creating one thing that's new a week. And some of you all are new baby creators compared to companies that exist like Apple, or creators that have been out there for a long time, and you're trying to pump out all of this content, and all of this content every day is something new. And it's like, man, it's killing what could be if you would just allow yourself to be okay and sit and rest. You could be making something that would stand out so much more versus the 10 things that you're doing that's getting a little bit of traction. Okay. So let's keep going. The next thing that we talked about, you're supposed to be Takiri. So you're supposed to be thinking about what you can do with your book. That's your mind doing what it does best. You've listened, you've paid attention. So your mind flexes between two states. It flexes between a state of where you're paying attention, and then it flexes into its resting state. You pay attention when you need to, and then when your mind feels like you're good, it rests. It goes off until something comes back and it's new and it's introduced into the environment. So when you're listening to me and I'm teaching you, and you're taking in the information, and then now your mind is going off, it's Resting is wandering. And now you're coming up with creativity and you're thinking about what you can do. It's supposed to do that. That's normal. It's okay. Keep doing that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so the next thing we talked about was being people centric and not just me centric when you create your content. If you're creating your content and you're saying people should look at your stuff online because of who you are and what you do, then you're wrong. You have to start thinking about why that person should be looking at your content, what value your content can give to them, and then you pitch that value instead. Okay. And then the third thing that I have on my list here is tap into people's pains. So I released a video a few months ago on quotes and using quotes to grow your social page, and how I've identified like 3 key things. If I find quotes to do these 3 things, then people are going to engage with it. And it was mostly because it taps into an emotion that people are feeling on the inside. It taps into their pain, the pain of someone betraying them, you know, the pain of them not being able to get the job they want at work, the pain of them not being able to get the love that they want. If you tap into people's pain when you create your content, people will pay attention. I guarantee you that your ears perked up when I was saying that, because I was tapping into something. Okay. And then the last thing that I'm going to do, because I'm tired, is tell you the very last tip, which is to be social. A lot of us come on social media and we're just looking and we're just posting, but we're not actually being social. There's a huge opportunity for you to connect with the people you want to connect with online when you're social. Comment on their post. Go in their inbox and private message them. Say something encouraging or whatever. Like their posts. Engage with them. Talk. Watch videos on YouTube and actually comment. You don't know who's going to see that and who may connect with you and say, man, I want to know who this person is. So be social on social media. Actually get back to doing that. And that's it. Okay. So y'all got anything you want to ask me before I get up off of here? Because I need to go. Yes, this live will stay up. We may take it down and repurpose it into a podcast, but it will stay up. If you don't see it on my public page, Takiri, you're in my private group, so I'll tag you over there. I'll add your name in the video over there, so you can always come back and see it. And I think I'm gonna add like one more thing, but I'm not gonna do it now because I need to take a little break. Okay. So Monica said, "Hi, that's my challenge because I don't like spending lots of time on social media." You just got to be intentional with it. You can be intentional with social media. Something that I've got back to recently is not getting on social media till after a certain time, which I was not getting on until after 10 o'clock. But, managing different accounts, I'm looking at things and gauging. So I started getting on earlier to look at it. And I was like, okay, I got to get back to not getting on until after 10 o'clock, which is another thing that I'm doing too. I'm shifting like my posting times. So I'm going to start posting a little bit later. I've already started testing that out with my, on my pages, but everything will be good. Y'all will be fine. Y'all got this. Just don't, think, but don't overthink, and test things, try things out. And then don't try a lot of things out at once, because if you try a bunch of different variables, you're not going to know what's working and what's not working. It's like if I have some cosmetic products that I want to try out and I have 5 new products, I'm not going to put all 5 of those products on my skin at one time. You want to know why? So if I put it on there all at once and something breaks me out, I'm not going to know which one broke me out. It's the same thing that you got to do when you're going through your life and you're trying to grow in any area that you're trying to grow, at your job, as an employee, as a business owner, as a creator, in whatever you're doing. You can't try everything at once. You can't test everything all out at once. You got to do it little by little, tests. Okay, that didn't work. Let me come back and try something else again. But I'll talk about that on another day. I'm getting off of here. I hope y'all have the most amazing life. Until next time. Bye.